Yes, people, we're back, and it is time for another preview. Before we get stuck into that, it broke officially on behalf of Manchester United Football Club earlier today, the announcement of Ruben Amorim, the new Manchester United manager to be, currently managing Sporting Lisbon tonight against Estrela, winning 1-0 at the moment. Still early moments in that game, so I think United fans have got a new obsession and habit of watching two different teams. But yeah, whichever thing people need to do to tick their boxes of assurances, if you will, to give them that bit of confidence booster. Like it's, yes, I'll prove them naysayers wrong. Let's say you'll get sacked in like a few months or something stupid like that. I don't need to fuss myself with watching Sporting. I don't need to fuss myself. But he will be officially the Manchester United manager and getting paid by the club from the 11th of November, which is the start of the international break, which I don't believe is next weekend. No, it is. It is just after next weekend. So from the Monday on the 11th. So it's not next month, not this Monday, but next Monday. He'll become the new Manchester United manager. So a few games that he's not going to be around for. Not to say that that's a terrible thing. Of course, we'd like to have seen him coming sooner, but he gets to see out the last few games for Sporting. They have a little bit of time to find their replacement or sort out their replacement manager, as well as the coaching team. And not just that, but then he's got the international break to really sort of pitch things together. Players who are not on serving their national teams, he'll be able to work with them. We'll start work with them a little bit, just sort of to get them used to a few things first and foremost. And then you've got the big guns that will come back to then sort of integrate something and be ready for Ipswich, which I believe is on the 19th or something. Is that the 19th? Possibly. I think it's like a midweek game, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, Ipswich away will be his first game. He's got the international break as preparations, as the opportunity to ready himself for that fixture. And then he's got PAOK in the Europa League as well. So I think it's actually a weekend game, the game against Ipswich. And then after that, I think it's Leicester in the league. Is it Leicester? No, I don't think it is. I think we play Leicester before the international break. It's somebody else. Let me find out for you guys what we're doing. What in the hell are Manchester United doing? Give me information. So on the 24th, so it's not next. So yeah, Sunday the 24th, we'll play Ipswich, and it's not PAOK, it's Bodo Glimt we play. PAOK is before. Ruud will be playing. Maybe he might be a player manager, we don't know. But he will be managing for that game, and his last game in charge will be the home fixture in the league against Leicester. So three games, including this Chelsea fixture that we got on Sunday. He'll have to manage, but Ipswich away, Bodo Glimt at home, Everton at home, followed then by Arsenal away, and then Nottingham Forest at home. Will be the first 5 fixtures for Ruben Amorim. First 5 fixtures. A couple of more simpler tests, but then also a couple more difficult ones, I have to say. a couple more difficult ones. But that's what we want to see. We want to see a challenge, and we want to see a team that will answer the challenge and actually perform and pull their weight. And whether this Man United team will want to do it, because we know with this Manchester United team, they do like to switch it on and switch it off again. So it's important that we see that Manchester United do. They uphold their end of the bargain, because I'm sure that Ruben Amorim coming in, he'll want to start on the right foot. He'll want to start on a good foot, and I'm hoping we can do that. But that is Ruben Amorim, and some, well, I think most of the sporting fans are saddened to see that their beloved manager um, is leaving the club, and then others angry. Apparently, players not happy. Wouldn't blame them. You know, it's not easy to go from a place of almost complete obscurity. Never had this sort of dominance in Portuguese football in 50 years. That have Sporting. So of course, Amorim leaving, maybe that the sun is setting on Sporting um, having the the lion's share of success. So of course they're going to be unhappy, but we just need to make sure that Manchester United actually allow him to carry on creating a legacy in the form of as they quote him, next Jose Mourinho, or I mean, maybe people call him next Jose. I'll probably say, well, maybe a next Jose for me. I'd just say it's probably the first Ruben Amorim. Just the first Ruben Amorim would be a nice, sweet sound to it, I think. But the focus, the focus, of course, we are very, very pleased to see that Amorim is confirmed, it's official, and he will be on his way in. Manchester United, Ruud's Red are playing Sunday against Chelsea, a team that have been very much encapsulated by mid-table mediocrity for the past 2 seasons, but have seemed to have found a bit of a quirk, a little flurry of form, results, a bit of a play style to the game, and a fair few players that are very much a respectable quality. Now, of course, I'd feel that sort of surge of confidence to want to really go into this game and cause all manners of damage, uh, raise all forms of hell in this fixture, given that they're coming off the back of being dumped out of the Carabao Cup against Newcastle, which, by the way, is the same Newcastle team that have not had the most sumptuous start themselves. They've been a little bit sluggish, they've been a little bit slow, and getting beaten by teams that's really, given the occasions, they should be beating themselves, but they're not. They're not managing it. So, of course, this fixture coming off the back as well of losing to Chelsea in the league at Stamford Bridge. I think that game was a 2-1 loss. Chelsea look like they've hit a bit of a stumbling block. And I think with Manchester United, we've only won one game under Ruud so far. That's Leicester City at home in the Carabao Cup. That's not anything really to write home about. What would be the statement is to beating Chelsea and doing it in the league. I think beating Chelsea, for me, that's a very strong statement to make. Manchester United, questions will start being asked. is Manchester United on, like, has their season really kicked off now? And I think 3 points is absolutely on the agenda. It's at Old Trafford. Chelsea yet again have to travel, because usually a breakage in, you know, tumultuous form may be having the blessing of a home fixture where your home support riles you up to fixing, righting the wrongs. But it's straight from an away game from St James's Park, losing there, out of a competition, very next game away trip to Old Trafford in the league against the Manchester United side that have got question marks about whether there's any sort of resurgence there. Chelsea have got to be very cautious, very, very cautious. Because with Manchester United that are playing without pressure, and I think that's probably one of the biggest messages that Ruud van Nistelrooy is carrying over to this squad, to these players, is don't play with fear or pressure. Just use what quality you have and make the most of what that game is, right? It's an opportunity to impress, right? Live up to expectations, play without the pressure, and let's see the best of what you have to offer. So if we concede a goal, you don't see Manchester United go at sixes and sevens. We are very stabilised, we're resolute, and we just go again. And if we score first, we don't rest on our laurels. We go for the second and the third and the fourth, or however many goals it takes for Manchester United to really put this result to bed. The only big question mark for Manchester United, from my perspective, from Manchester United fan base's perspective, inconsistencies has been a very prevalent feature with the Manchester United squad, and players that one week will do what they need to do, the next week not so much. Do these players feel the incentive to push hard again on Sunday? Do they feel the desire to want to really push themselves to achieve in that Manchester United shirt? Because given that it's a bigger opponent, it's a bigger occasion, Manchester United need to right their wrongs in the season. We need to start picking up points and moving up the table, get us into the top half, and then push on for European positions. And we can't really start doing that if we are throwing games around and being foolish against a team like Chelsea. I think if Manchester United end up losing to Chelsea, it will absolutely matter the nature on how that loss comes about. I think it's going to massively, massively matter what happens in how we perform on the day, as a telltale sign as to perhaps where the heads are at with the players in that squad. What's going through their minds? What's their motivation like? Can interim Ruud keep this party atmosphere bouncing right the way through to when Amorim takes over? It's going to be difficult given that this is, as it stands by a statistical viewpoint, the worst Manchester United Premier League squad ever, which is quite ironic considering the last season before that one, was also the worst Premier League season, statistically speaking, from Manchester United. So yeah, we've got to sort our game out. We've got to sort our shit out. And maybe certain players will play. Maybe Ruud rotates the squad. Maybe he keeps it the same. Maybe he thinks, well, it worked before. Why not try it again? So guys like Rashford starting, I think he was probably one of the players that, um, one of the players that was a little bit absent from that game. It did feel like that he was as far as the rest of the attacking um, presence on that pitch goes, was a little bit lackluster. Not really working the opposition goalkeeper that much. Not really stretching the defence at all. Just a little bit slow for my liking. And what I want to see ultimately is um, is Manchester United Football Club being and acting like a Manchester United Football Club, and all of the players with unique ability, unique specialties, and really just a togetherness at complementing each other well, and enacting a good, balanced display and entertainment factor as well. So if the players, and it's important with some of the players, um, you know, I think for me, Amad Diallo against Leicester came on, tried bicycle kicks. I mean, he's trying things, right? He's testing that confidence, and I like that. I like that he's playing without pressure. They're trying to really exert themselves, and I think we need to have the same desire against against Chelsea. We need to do the same, and maybe it turns into a really hectic game. But ultimately, everyone's going to sit there and say afterwards, well, if Manchester United win, who cares? At the end of the day, we won the game of football, and that's what matters. It's about winning. Win your game of football, win your 3 points, and progress yourself up the table. Ultimately, how you play, as long as you're playing competitive and good football, then winning is just becomes a feat of expectation. And I think we've got the tools we need to beat Chelsea. I think their midfield, um, very good stuff on the ball. I think they definitely do need to rely, especially from a defensive side of things. They do really need to rely on Romeo Lavia. I think he's probably the big sort of defensive focus of that midfield. I think Moises Caicedo is more of a progressive midfielder, with then Cole Palmer ahead of them. But the defense, I would be a little bit concerned about if I was Chelsea, um, especially considering that they do, as individuals, find themselves um, in a little bit of a rut occasionally, here or there. Guys, I think like Axel Disasi, um, though I think sometimes he can put in good individual performance, I think he can be a bit suspect. Not all that quick. He hasn't got a lot of pace on him. I think Cole will. If he plays, you could target him individually and play past him. I think maybe the fullbacks would be a bit harder to really get any joy out of. I think it's the centre backs through the middle. Centre backs. I think if Bruno ends up playing, he's going to be pivotal. Bruno has to be pivotal in this game, 100%. And will he be pivotal? Will he be? Um, will it be pivotal? Cole Palmer being the center of all of the things that most of all the good things that come from Chelsea's team. Very, very big focal point. I think what Liverpool did quite well is just mark him out of the game. I think we need to do the same. For me, one person you could probably do is stick Agate on him, right? I'd stick Agate on him, just tell him, listen, be a bulldog, just stay on him the whole game. Energy tank 1000, stay on him. Kind of like how Ander Herrera was subject to watching Eden Hazard and just completely mark him out of the game, and it worked. It genuinely worked. Eden Hazard just had no joy that game, and we need to do the same. We need to really frustrate Chelsea's chance creation by essentially ruling out a very big factor. Now, will Chelsea do the same defensively in trying to mark Bruno out of the game? Because I think if space becomes more open and the drive is more attack heavy, I think Bruno's gonna have a lot of the ball in a lot of attacking areas, and I think when he's in the attacking areas, sometimes it can be a bit hit and miss with the accuracy of his creation, but ultimately he has got a lot of that vision that a creator needs to have to really connect the dots for the forward players. Um, and as long as there isn't the insistence on shooting from distance, because I think with Chelsea goalkeepers, they I think they fundamentally, unless it's Roberto Sanchez, I think most of their other goalkeepers are more shot stoppers than anything else. So I think long range shooting is probably not the best form of approach. I think you are going to need to work the ball in the box a bit more, um, and maybe Bruno trying to actually keep his shots on target if that is possible. Um, no deflections needed, essentially. We need to, yeah, I think his goal threat might be very, very important. And whoever plays up top, whether that is Xerxes or Rasmus Højlund, uh, I think I think probably Joshua Xerxes for me will end up starting in this game, and a little bit unlucky in the game against Leicester, but I think keep playing him into confidence because it's what else he offers the team as well. In terms of his link-up play, that's going to be quite important for bringing teammates in. The stature that he has, he needs to match up physicality-wise to some of the centre backs. And one thing Chelsea centre backs do have is they're quite physical. Um, they're quite physically demanding, so you do need to have a stronger presence up top. And I think, I think Højlund can also do that. He has got quite a large frame and he does draw occasionally when he needs to. He can draw fouls quite easily. But I think that's the sort of case where he's got pace and energy, and you'd want the pace and energy in the later scenarios of the game. But just when the game you need it to be a little bit more calmed down, you need to have somebody who's got more of a creative mind there, as well as the ability to finish. And I think as long as we give him the opportunities to, Xerxes could prove quite useful to us. Our only question mark is very, very much similar to Chelsea, is what happens with the defence. Still no sign of any left backs being fit and available to play. Mazraoui came off the bench in the last game. Will he start? Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. Because we have to wonder: will Ruud, will he make changes, or will he keep the team the same? Will he go back to a De Ligt Martinez partnership for the centre back positions? Because I think one thing that's going to be very obvious is breakaways, pace. Yeah, they'll transition the ball with pace. The wide players are very much pivotal in many of the attacking scenarios, especially when you're trying to move the ball from back to front quick. Usually, you don't sit it straight through Cole Palmer all the time. Sometimes you just hit it into space and let those wingers run onto it. And Pedro Neto and Noni Madueke are going to be very, very important to that. Now, no sign of Jadon Sancho. Apparently, he was ill. He's been ill this week, but I don't know. I've got my beliefs about that. I do have my beliefs about that. But let's see. Let's see. If he comes back from his illness and he is fully fit and then starts sitting on the bench week in, week out, I think we might have a sneaky suspicion as to what is going on there. But I shan't tempt. I shan't tempt fate with that. But yeah, I think wing play very very pivotal in terms of danger areas and watching out for those wide balls coming in. Whether it's the I think it's usually a more driven cross, like a cut back cross type thing, to where Jackson is or to where Cole Palmer is, because there's two players right there, or even just to the far post where the other winger comes more narrow, a lot more narrow. So you do have to sort of hit your crosses. So yeah, take a little bit of care with those crosses. But then I suppose if you are from the left, Neto crossing it over, goes over everybody. You've got the fullbacks that do push forward to collect the ball and then double up with the winger. But that's when play slows down and they get to our box. I think by which point it's just in various instances in this game we might have to contain. We'll probably have to contain. But it's just when those chances come, make the most of it. As simple as that. Make the most of your chances. If it was up to me to decide the team, I'd probably do as what I've said, with working that defence with Mazraoui in the team, Dalota left back, Martinez and De Ligt in centre backs. Work with Agate and Casemiro in midfield again, because that worked really, really well. Nice balance in possession, with Agate watching what goes on in that defence, and then Casemiro getting a bit more license to roam forward. Bruno ahead of them. And I would go with Garnacho on the left, Ahmad on the right, and then Xerxes up top. Now, whether it's a 4-2-3-1, allegedly it was, but if it, for instance, go with a 4-4-2, I do think that we'll see Bruno being one of those two frontmen. And then you'll have just the Agate Casemiro midfield, and then work it from there. And yeah, so that's essentially my team, of course. I think Anana probably will make a return. I don't know if there was any reason to be cautious for Bayendir playing midweek. Not to say that he did a bad job at all. I think a bit unfortunate with the goals that he conceded. A bit unlucky that their first goal, the one that was driven along the ground and spinning away from goal. It's just that was just an ugly. That's just an ugly state of affairs. The second goal was just Bo's OG moments from our defence. But aside from that, it wasn't too bad. So if it's an injury-related problem, then I'm not all that worried with Bandia starting again. But I think I've not heard anything with Anana being out of the picture, so I'd imagine Anana will come back into things there. I think I've already predicted with this game on the Wednesday. I went with a 2-1 to Man United. I think it's not going to be as crazy, exhilarating, mad stuff. I think it's going to be a bit more. The lid's going to be on this brothel a little bit more. I think both teams will be a little bit more cautious. I don't think I'll be surprised if Man United just come out of the gates and just want blood, just completely want blood. I think if that's the case, Chelsea will be caught off guard by that. I'd imagine they would, but I don't know. As I've said already, I don't know what the temperature is with this Man United team going into this game. They had a very high scoring, very end-to-end, free-flowing game against Leicester. Whether there's going to be the allowance to be as open as we were against Leicester, I don't know. I probably would doubt it, given this isn't a Leicester team that has rotated. This is a Chelsea team that will have rotated players in midweek, lost and on out of the cup. They'll want to right the wrongs and go with the strongest team that they have at their selection, at their disposal. Will it constitute in a win for the Blues? I don't know. Let's see. But I predicted with the 2-1, and let's see what you guys in the comment section think as well. Let me know what your thoughts are on the Amorim appointment as well. Whether you guys think that he will do a good job at Manchester United, or whether you think he will be Eric Ten Hag 2.0, as so many rivals like to put it. And just what your thoughts and your vibes are with this Chelsea game on the Sunday. And who will win? Who will ultimately claim victory on the day? Let me know what you guys think about that in the comment section down below. Tomorrow, 4 o'clock. Tomorrow, Saturday, 4 o'clock, I will be doing another Chelsea game preview with Wolfgang Division. Chelsea fan gets the Blues perspective, Saturday Blues perspective. And yeah, do be sure to tune in for that. I don't know if it's going to be a live stream per se, or whether it's a pre-record, but we'll see what the format is when we get around to it. Either way, I will be linking in whichever way I can the access to the content from this channel. So keep your eyes peeled for that, people. Keep your eyes peeled. Don't forget as well to like and subscribe to the channel. Massively help me out on the slow, tumultuous, winding road to 300 subscribers. And yeah, I think it's going to be a bit of a long haul, but I think we'll get there. We'll get there. We'll eventually get there. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Take care. Enjoy your Friday night, and we'll catch you again tomorrow for maybe we can say part two of the Chelsea game preview. Anyways, we'll catch you tomorrow, guys. All the best. Take care and stay safe.